We are live at the Mandalay Bay Casino. Oh, sorry, doing my best impression of UFC fight night. So, hope everybody is doing amazing out there. This is going to be an amazing, great, powerful presentation for you to be able to grow your business, grow your conversations, take your conversations from the same old lame-o pitching services, pitching turn times, pitching, to absolutely crushing it with your referral partners and clients. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. So we'll start here in just a segundo. Make sure we go through this. Hey, by the way, if you are listening to this live, I want you to do a hashtag live. If you're listening to a replay, hashtag replay. So hashtag live if you're on here, see some folks on, hit me up in the chat box. I will stay on afterwards as well if you want some direct questions back and forth to help you with this. So, gosh, big stuff. This presentation's live. Elena, how you doing? Woo, glad you were on. This is going to be so instrumental for you in your conversations that you're having. Listen all the time. Good morning. Yes, from Cali. You are early. You're there. Patrick, brother. Awesome. Glad you're on live here. So afterwards, if you want to stick around, ask some questions, have some back and forth dialogue, be happy to do that and help you grow. So Will, live. Woohoo. Yes. By the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Genius Loan Officer, and gosh, find me everywhere, anywhere you want to, because I'm going to continue to give you powerful stuff. In our, of course, Genius Loan Officer group and our clients, man, this is just a sliver, a little smidgen of what we give you in the sales dialogue, marketing, and how to run your business. So without further ado, it's a trap. This is one that I see happen all the time. And we were at our mastermind event in Breckenridge, Colorado's beautiful 6,700 square foot spot there, and just beautiful. And we had these great loan officers there that were just well-intentioned, had great conversations with people, and they were really growing their business. However, there was still a disconnect, right? And this happens oftentimes. So I asked a few people there, how their conversations were going. And this is a common theme, a very common theme that happens all the time. They ask, somebody asked, for example, there was at the mastermind, asked one of the great loan officers, hey, how is your process? Which that is a question that is like, seems like, hey, I should answer this question. I should really go after this, and I should answer, about my process. But it's a trap. It's a trap. And we're going to go into that because this is where things go off the rails and conversations go off the rails, and influence is no longer going to be there for people. So, oftentimes we, loan officers, I'll see go into meetings already ready to present their best offers, their products, their services, how long they've been in business, all these other things that really a lot of times don't matter to the real estate agent, financial advisor, or whomever you're speaking to. It just doesn't matter. And I will say this, and a lot of people know this in our group, what's the number one currency we can have in sales? It is, anybody have any guesses? Any guesses? The number one currency we can have in sales or marketing is focus. Focus is your number one currency. So when we go and we pitch, focus gets just thrown out the window, right? Because, it's focused on us and an agenda we have, and then they've heard the same old lame-o. So focus is no longer there. They kind of tune you out and, okay, let's wait until I can now speak. I can now have a conversation, and this will be beneficial to me when I can sit there and talk, or I can just get out of this meeting. That's kind of what may be going through their mind. So there's this traps that are set up. So you may even go into the meeting, right? You go into the meeting, and you're well intentioned off the bat. You are saying, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to fall in this trap of talking about my rates and services up front." So I'm going to ask them. I'm going to try to small talk, which I hate that languaging. Dallas and I speak against it all the time. Small talk makes you small. That doesn't mean you're not talking about them, but you're just trying to talk about little weather stuff that doesn't matter. If it's not impactful, if you say it's small talk, it becomes small talk and doesn't do anything for the conversation. But you think, hey, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to small talk, quote unquote, and then I'm going to, get into some questions and talk about them. But then the moment, right? Here's the big trap that comes into play. The big trap is that, we start off decent, right? Where you start asking them some questions, start getting to know them, and then they ask you a question such as, hey, what's your rates? And then you go into soliloquy about your rates. Or, like, for example, we had this great, amazing loan officer that was at the event, and the question was, how's your process? What's your process look like? Something along those lines, right? You may have been asked that before in a conversation. Some real estate agent says, what's your process? Now remember, there's two reasons why, namely, people ask questions. There's two reasons. So write these down. By the way, I have a presentation. Angel, which is my amazing assistant, I just boom, bang this content out this morning, sent it over and said, hey, go ahead and put this PDF together, can you? And a slide presentation. And she put the PDF together, and it was over, and I don't even know how she does it. But obviously I presented along these lines several times, and it's helped several people. But there's just, Jamie, how you doing? You're live. Great to have you. So, but anyway, there's this question asked, right? Where process. What's the process? Our natural inkling is to answer that. What I am imploring you to do is to stop and allow yourself to understand and read, engage. What is the two main reasons why they may be asking this question? Number one, they don't know what question to ask. It could simply be they're just sitting there, you're having a little conversation, and they're like, the real estate agent, we're just going to take real estate agents for now. There's definitely different channels of business you can get, but this will apply across the board. So say a real estate agent says, I'm going to first realtor interview this afternoon. Awesome, Jamie. Jamie, you're going to rock it out because you got a lot of this content in Breckenridge, didn't you? But we're listening because it's going to be a good iteration here. So they ask you the question, hey, what's your process? Because they don't know what to ask. They specifically just don't know what to ask. So then what we do, and there's two reasons, but this first one, the first reason they say, hey, I'm going to ask this question because I just don't know what to ask. I'm sitting down with this loan officer, I'm a real estate agent, I just don't know what question really to ask. So I'm just going to throw something out there and see what they say. And they throw it out there because it's uncomfortable, like I said, situation. Maybe they just, there's a lull in the conversation, whatever it may be. And they say, hey, what's your rates? And the natural inkling is to just answer it, right? Hey, yeah, we got the great rates. I tell you what, on an FHA right now, we got a 4%, and on a conventional or 4.125, and on a VA, I tell you what, we're really good on that. And by the way, our lender fees are really low on the VA, and right, blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, their blink rate just goes through the roof. By the way, blink rate is tied to someone's interest. If somebody's blink rate just keeps going up, all of a sudden, they're probably disinterested. You probably lost them, so you're sitting there doing what Mike Weinberg says, which I listened to his conference years ago. I was at one of his conferences, and he said, don't suffer from premature presentation. Kind of funny, play on words, right? But it's true. Now you're suffering from that because now you're presenting. And really, the agent may have just been asking that again, just simply because they didn't know what question to ask. What we simply should have done is stop and allow ourselves to read the situation, whether this is a question that really is a legitimate question or it's just a filler. So a filler can simply be something along the lines of, absolutely, Jamie, I would love to answer that question. Really, it boils down to we're competitive, and we rarely lose a sale because of our pricing. Boom, right back on them. The question, like you just simply like a really quick, no soliloquy, no crazy like over explanation, anything else. It's a simple little blurb, and then move and ask them a question. Because if you're establishing and you're reading the situation correctly, and it is the number one reason they're asking the question is, now we need to move quickly into asking the question, get it back on them, getting their focus back up, not letting their blink rate go through the roof, all those things that apply to that. So the second reason that they're going to ask is there's pain associated with it. Now this is the key, like just gosh, it just really ingrained in your mind, because ask yourself this. If Mary, the real estate agent, was, everything went just amazing in a process, for example, like every process was the same. She's closed 100 deals and every single process went smoothly, just went and beautiful. She showed up at the closing table, everything went good, communication was great, everybody was smiling, everybody was loving each other, they were loving their lender, everything was just beautiful. Would they simply ask this question? Would they ask a question about processing if everything went smooth? And you establish, and you're kind of looking at them going, okay, this is a question they're asking that does not simply seem to be, they're just asking a question to fill. So if they're asking that question and it is not just a filler, we have to have the understanding and the appreciation that this is a pain question, right? It's a pain question. So simply now regurgitating, said, hey, and again, this is cool. Like, be very, very excited about this. Like, woo, give me a hell yeah, and hell yeah in the chat. I'm going to change today. I'm going to do things today that's going to be different. Give me a hell yes. This is amazing. Content so far is amazing. I'm starting to understand, and now I'm going to make a change because, hey, listen, I've been doing some things incorrect, and hell yeah, I'm going to change it. So give me a hell yeah in the chat. All right, so listen, here's the deal. Like, be very, very excited. Hell yeah, Jamie. Yes, woo! We are getting somewhere on this big time because there's pain associated with it. We can't try to solve a pain point if we don't really know where it's at. Like, just imagine going to the doctor and you're like, hey, I'm in pain. And they're like, okay, let's just give you every medication and let's just start doing surgery. And you're like, whoa, man, like, I don't have a pain in my shoulder, it's my foot. You're right. Probably miss the mark, right? We don't know really what that's pain. Just because we know it's the overall arching process, that's like a whole body, right? There's no definitive place where we can go and say, okay, this is what's really going to help them. So now we associate and go, hey, this is pain. This question is pain. Now, how do I get and have the conversation about pain? How do I dig? And like, so we can throw salt on the wound a little bit, because we all know we don't really take action a lot of times until we feel pain. People don't come to us for Genius Loan Officer and go, hey, listen, I just want to give you all money so I can just kind of hang out and I'm doing great. It's like, there's a little bit of pain there. I'm working too many hours. I don't have a real business. I don't know if I'm going to grow this year. 2022 is going to be rough if I don't make a change. Like, oh my gosh, all these things, right? Pain associated right away, right? And that's when we're going to make a change. Same thing with real estate agents. They're going to make a change a lot of times because of pain. But a lot of times we allow ourselves to just and allow the real estate agent to get away from that meeting and not make a change, not make a real good decision. And our job is to help people make decisions and feel really good about those decisions, right? That's what we're there to do. Help them along the path. Help them make decisions. Understand this. Most people are not great decision makers. Even though a lot of people think they are great decision makers, they're not great decision makers. It is our ability to find the pain, to salt that pain, to move them to action so they can make decisions and then feel good about those decisions. Hopefully that resonates with you so much. Hell yeah. If you're on here, if you're live, give me a hashtag live or hashtag replay for replay. So awesome, great stuff. Love to hear from you. You want to stick around? We'll be done here just probably, I don't know, won't take too much longer. We're going to go through this and give you some good key elements to start working on. And of course, we'll keep going deeper dives into this. And of course, our member site, we go completely wild on this kind of stuff and scripting, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so let's see here. Make sure I got all my stuff here. But yeah, being targeted with our responses. But the typical loan officers, they just start talking about the same things, all that. Now we talked about focus earlier. Now there's two things that really, Brad, let's go. That's right, Brad. Happy birthday, Brad. Hope you're having a great day, man. I was like, I gotta get through this live and then get with Brad. Brad is awesome. He was at our mastermind event. And I tell you what, that guy's taking action, people. Be the Brad in your market. All right, so how do we create this focus again? We want to create novelty, interest in them and interest in them. So keep continuing to, hey, we got to create focus throughout the conversation. That is a very, very key element, because if we don't have focus, it's not going to work. It's not going to help, create any kind of, change, right? So understand this. Like if it's pain, we want to stop and allow ourselves to then listen intently, ask questions that's going to get to it. Clarify. What is the specific thing they want to know about the process? So, Mary, I would absolutely love to answer that for you. What specifically would you want to know about our process? And then perhaps sometimes if they have a trouble starting, you may just plug in a few things that could go along with that. Is it the process of when the client comes, to us originally? Is that what the process you'd like? And then we can also ask things like, again, like has some things broke down the process maybe before that you had questions about in previous situations that I can answer for you. I'm starting to get down some pain questions. And when they start bringing up a pain, oh yeah, we can also minimize to maximize. This is a very key element. I would suggest never going up with them on the pain level. Like you want to actually minimize, meaning that if somebody says, oh man, gosh, I just had this bad experience and we would ask something like, well, I bet that must have caused a little bit of pain, or that must have caused a little bit of issue, right? A little bit of issue. Oh man, it caused a great big issue, right? Not going, hey man, I bet that was horrible. And then they come back down. They bring, I got over it. It's like, man, sounds like that was kind of tough, Man, it was really tough. It was horrible, right? Get in, minimize so they can maximize, and they could be that one that says, hey, this is really bad. Because when they're saying it, understand everything we're doing, the most influential we are, is when they're telling themselves why this is painful point, or telling themselves why they want to work with you. When we're trying to tell them, that's very, very non-influential, right? We're not being influencers at all. When we're like, hey, this is the reason why I want to use me. Rather than asking great questions, getting to clarify and having them open up in a way that they will tell themselves why it's important to use you. That is the key. If you do anything other than that, your influence starts going down. And what happens is when we start pitching our products and service and all this other stuff, and even when they ask us a question and we don't identify, do they really need to know this? You know, right? Do they want to really know this? Or is it pain? And we don't go down those paths. We start losing influence and the sale isn't made. Then we're thinking, hey, we just got away from that meeting. We told them about their stuff. They asked us question. I thought we smiled. We did all this. We didn't look for the body language, which we teach all the time in Genius Loan Officer. You know, or all of a sudden their shoulder retreated a little bit. So that was something they didn't agree with. Their blink rate's going up, so they're not really interested. All these other things that go on, and we're not watching for things, and we're just pitching. We think the meeting goes really well, but we never established those two things, right? Did they really want to know it? And was that something that that caused them pain? And what was the specific pain point that I can help with? Remember, it's the really skilled salespeople, and we heard this at the Breckenridge. Just remember this, like this is key. This is key. Hang on. Here's the trick, okay? We heard this at Breckenridge. Somebody said something along the lines of, well, what about they don't really have any problems, right? Or something along those lines. And what we have to realize is that our job is not simply to solve the problems that they know they have. It is to solve the problems they didn't even know that existed. If we as Genius Loan Officer only simply said, hey, we're going to just help our loan officers with the problems they know they have, that's very limited. That's very, very limited. We have to identify what they don't even know the problems they honestly have. On our sales calls, it comes up all the time. When we are, in our group meetings, it comes up all the time. Oh crap, I didn't know. That's a hidden thing. So it's our job to do the same thing with the real estate agents. They don't really know what that is. We teach hooks and everything else to kind of bring this out and start kind of needling at this, which is a really cool thing. And by the way, blew people away. Brad, did that blow you away? I tell you what, a couple of people came like, I've never known how to put this in here that actually says the same thing, but actually brings out the big juicy, great pain, and people can actually have a conversation. But so it's our job to bring out that pain. It's our job to needle that. It's our job to pour some salt on. It's our job to find the pain points that they didn't really know they had, right? And then it's our job to understand that, clarify that, and have real conversations with that. When we do, we will have them telling us why it's important to use this. It's very critical. Make sure I go through all this. Hang with me. Okay, one thing I like to, this was really good. I came with this analogy on the spot there in Breckenridge, and I was like, wow, I don't know why I didn't really think of this before, and I kind of danced around this, but I want you to think it like this. Like, imagine yourself watching a old war movie. Everybody's watched an old war movie, right? But heck yeah, right? Everybody like a good war movie? I do. I love it. It's awesome, and you have some good war movie on, I'm probably going to watch it. But right? They're sitting back, and they're all loaded with their guns, especially back in like the 1800s, right? They got one shot, right? They got one shot. Yeah, Brad, you know it, buddy. This helped you, didn't it? So they're sitting there, and the captain and that leader is sitting there saying, hold, right? He's yelling, and they're ready to fire. But he's hold. Why is he saying that? Why was the captain yelling that? Because they got one shot, right? One shot to get it right. And if they fire too soon, they miss. It doesn't hit the target. Then nobody's been shot. Then then they're getting attacked, right? They're getting attacked without ever having literally got a shot off that's going to have any effectiveness, right? So I want you to kind of imagine that when you are talking to your real estate, talking to a referral partner, and going like, oh, it's very tempting right now. Things are going good. I'm feeling good. That's the whole trap too. We feel good. We're smiling. Hey, they're just a good person. We're gelling pretty good, right? This is a real trap, just a real trap, because this is where it's like, I feel loose. I feel good. I feel like, man, we get each other, and I got rapport, which, by the way, rapport, connection, that is only one of the 6 keys of influence to influencing someone. And that will not get you there. You need at least 3 to 4 of them, which we're not going to go through today, meaning that rapport is only one thing. So we think we got rapport. Man, we're in like Flynn. We're going to get this sale. They're going to want to partner with us, and we miss the sale, right? Anybody raise a hand? Give me a raise hand or whatever, or a hand clap in there. And if you've ever went from a sale and all of a sudden, you've left a meeting and you thought, man, gosh, this went good. And you even said, man, we really connected. We really had great rapport. You said something along those lines and you never got a deal. Anybody hand up? That ever happened? Yes. Give me a yes, hand up, something. I have, everybody has, right? That's because we didn't move the other keys of influence over. Didn't happen. And one of those ways is because we feel really good and we're feeling really in the moment and things are going to us smiling, we're feeling good, everything. Then we don't take it that next step. We don't get into any pain. We don't have any, then we shoot our fire and we're like, okay, we feel good. They ask this question, now it's time to just unload. Boom! You shoot off your shot. And you're talking about rates and services and, oh my gosh, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. And meanwhile, the blink rate's going up, they don't care, and your shot just falls short and it never landed. You never got into pain, so they never had any reason to really take action. They just felt good about you. They like you, right? But like, that's kind of that friend zone. I liked them. I don't know, but I like my other lender, and they've done some really good job. They've done a pretty good job for me, right? So we never move them from point of, hey, they kind of like us, they think we're pretty cool, think we're pretty nice, to, hey, this person is nice, and they really get where my business is going, how they can specifically help me, how they brought out these amazing, pain points that really I need to be corrected, and they can correct them and they can help me with them. Like, if we don't do those things, then guess what? The sale's not to be had. They're not going to send us any business. We're going to be working on very much, chance. Now, hey, listen, I get some deals, Adam. I do. Okay. Let's look at that percentage, where we're at. Think about how many you're kind of, oh yeah, people like me, but it's not getting a sale. Like, what if we could move that up? What if you could feel more confident? What if when you go there, you go, hey, listen, like, I'm going to identify and I'm going to know whether this is a real fit for me, because also we got to know where the pain points are and whether we can actually solve them, right? So it does us no good to kind of feel good about someone. We're cool, but we don't know if we can actually solve their pain. We don't know if we're actually that right fit. And we don't know if they're right fit for us, is what we really should be doing is disqualifying. That is a huge, huge thing that we got to get through our noggin, our heart. We got to disqualify people. We got to say, hey, is this a right fit for me? And I'm going to be doing this as an interview process and how they operate and how we're going to work together, not just, hey, I'm coming there and listen, if I can just get them to start sending me business. No. Do I want them to send me business? Are we aligned as a partnership? Are we going to grow together? Are we going to be help each other's pain points in these situations? Are we going to be able to serve people at the highest level so we can have the energy and a process to grow in a sustainable, joyful way? That is what you want. So, let's see. I think make sure I go through this. Sometimes, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, that is a nutshell what it is. Now, obviously, we'll go deeper into this in so many different levels. And if you have questions, obviously, let me know, and we'll kind of have some back and forth here. I'll stay on for a few minutes, but hopefully, this starts to rewire your brain a little bit and have better conversations. And you remember to hold. Don't prematurely demonstrate and start just going into all that stuff. Even when they ask you the question, identify what one or two things, right? What is it going to be? Anybody know? Right? Is it just a question just because they don't know what else question to ask, or is it pain? And specifically how I'm going to identify those, and then how am I going to respond to those. So, gosh, if you want to sign up and get more and greater and just done for yous and all the good Lord, or good gosh almighty, we got so much stuff. Go to geniusloanofficer.com and schedule your call and see we're fit for each other. That's all I got. Go out there and absolutely crush it. You know the drill. Limited risk equals limited income.